Hey, and as I hear, age for truth. So I've heard people say, actually, this one individual I was talking to on X said he does not believe that there is, actually, he said categorically, there is no amount of money in the world enough. There isn't enough money in the world to buy XRP at $10,000. It's like that would be like so much. You see, people are thinking with yesterday's mind and today's mind. If you're going to really believe in what is coming, you have to have an eye that looks at the future. You have to have an eye that looks at the future. And when I say future, I mean future, right? So let's go back into history. When the automobile was just coming into the world, right? People were, you can imagine the owners of horse-drawn carriages. They were the ones making money because they moved people from place to place. Owners of horses would have resisted. Oh, what's all this? No, some would swear never to buy a car. Some would say things like people are saying now, most people don't have money. A lot of people were poor back then. Only the rich could afford an automobile. Well, did that stop the automobile industry from exploding? No, it did not. What happened was people began to desire to own a vehicle. So they worked, they saved up, they did whatever it had to, whatever they had to do, and whatever it would take within legal means for the average, normal, everyday person who had a job to buy a car. After a while, cars became something that everybody could afford if they had a job, and they even created financing so that people can buy a car. But look at the car industry and how far it has come. The same thing with mobile phones. I remember when I was young, only the wealthy and big government people and industry people had a mobile phone. Before, it was like half the size of a normal business briefcase. But now everybody has a phone. If you don't have a cell phone today, it's because you don't want it. There's more supply if people really wanted to have a cell phone. Not just that, we now have all of these, like my phone is not just a phone for communication. I can do so many things with it. My bank is on there, my email is on there. So what Ripple designed and created is a product to provide on-demand liquidity. If you have ever heard this before, on-demand printing, on-demand, movies on demand. We used to go to Blockbuster in this city, just, south of me here. We would drive across the perimeter and go and buy to Blockbuster on Saturdays or Sundays sometimes, and just rent a movie after church. And then we'll sit at home and as a family would watch a family-friendly movie. And suddenly Blockbuster just disappeared. And all those other companies that were involved, were movie rental houses. It was big business back in the day. In some of them you could buy popcorn, you could, but just like that, it disappeared. So when a new asset comes into being to resolve a problem, that asset becomes valuable. What's about to happen, the world has never seen before. Just like what was about to, there was a time when in this world people were using whale blubber, oil from inside a whale to power, lighting fixtures, and to drive, machinery, I believe. But who does that today? Maybe a few people in some remote areas who would still do it. I don't know. But the oil industry came on stream and then created new wealth. The same thing, with what you see in with the internet. The internet suddenly came on stream, and what happened? In fact, people used to say, "Oh yeah, it would never happen," but it happened. Computers, computers and software technology made Bill Gates a multi-billionaire. Sir Michael Dell of the United Kingdom became a multi-millionaire or even billionaire just because of computing too, computers and computing. I remember people saying, "No, these computers are going to take jobs away from us." There was not riots, protests. Workers were protesting and protesting and protesting. But what has happened? Computers are here to stay. Do you see what I'm saying? So, in the same way, cryptos are here to stay, especially the ISO 222 cryptocurrencies, which are going to help usher in the new financial system, and that will create new value. So when people are thinking, they think in a limited, they use what they know to try to think of what the future would look like. No, you have to be able to envision a future that doesn't look like today. And that's where the winners are made. The people who buy XRP at 30 cents, 10 cents, 6 cents, do their research, and they're able to conceptualize what people behind these algorithms are trying to do and have seen. It was an idea. And there's a saying that, nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. Why has the time for this idea come? Number one, increase in population has increased, more mouths to feed, more homes to be built, more transportation, more effective, not slow rail. You need high-speed trains. All of these things need money to build them. Because when you have a population of 8.5 billion going to 9 billion, and soon one day 10 billion, you've got to prepare for the future. Our city here is already planning for 1 million. We are at this point about 725 to 35,000 people. In the summer, it increases because of tourists coming and going. So they are already mapping areas where hotels will be built, where housing will be built, and all of that stuff. So you have to think of the future, conceptualize a future that you can't see right now. Most leaders who are successful see a future that people don't see right now. And then they lead the people to a place. Moses led the children of Israel from Egypt through the Red Sea to a land that was promised to them by God. The people couldn't see it, but the few who could see it. I remember the Bible talking about Caleb and Joshua. When all the other spies and other people are like, "Oh, there are giants in the land," and the people were wailing, they said, "No, we still have the strength to go in and come out. God will give us the land." Now, I'm speaking now from my bias as a believer, as a Christian, as a minister, okay? So if that's not your bias, bear with me. But that's how I see the world, and that's how I interpret things that are happening. So there is a future that you have to see. It doesn't exist yet. But you can begin to plot and put two and two together when you see the railings for that future being built. In 1960, how many billionaires were there? None. Hardly any. Today, the billionaires are a dime a dozen, right? There's a lot of them in China, in US. I mean, US still has the most billionaires, right? It used to be just be millionaires. Bernie Sanders used to be millionaires and millionaires and multimillionaires. Then he became one and now started talking billionaires. The same with his, what's his other friend? I forget her name. But she's a senator to Elizabeth Warren, yeah? Millionaires and millionaires and millionaires and tax. Billionaires. They changed to billionaires now because they are also millionaires. So new wealth, new ideas, new frontiers, breaking new frontiers will always create new wealth. I believe personally that crypto will produce the first trillionaires within the next 5 to 10 years. Will produce the first trillionaires in the world because a new area, just like oil produced many billionaires, automobile produced many multimillionaires. That's how, and computers, billionaires. This area will produce the trillionaires. If you've liked what you've watched, please subscribe, make a comment, like, and share. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.